How's it? Welcome back to the channel. So quick update on things. I've been pretty MIA here as of late, so I thought I'd give a quick update on that. Then also, since the last video I posted was the last video I made on the little active imagination series we were doing, thought I would give a quick update on that as well. So starting there, in my kind of wrap-ups of active imagination, I was saying how I was planning on trying to, stick with the practice a bit and kind of see if I could wrap my head around it better and get more comfortable with it. But lately, I have not been doing that at all, As I've been MIA from the channel, I've also been MIA from getting good sleep, really consistently, dream journaling, and also practicing active imagination, right? But because I had like a decent backlog of videos to post, when I would post, one of my videos on within the active imagination series, and it would kind of jog my memory on it. If I had a little bit of free time, I might, try out a little active imagination session. So I did that a few times in the past month, but of course, a few more tries at the practice that I'm not that comfortable with. I don't feel any more comfortable with it now. And I still am finding that, because active imagination seems to be more angled towards, kind of doing it, trying to like fix some kind of problem or issue you're having in your life in whatever way. I found it to be more beneficial just to kind of meditate on that problem than doing the whole specific active imagination approach to it, right? So you bring up whatever issue it is to your mind and then kind of just try like to blank out afterwards and not follow whatever narrative that you've been stuck on with that problem. And then see if you, some other kind of thought or solution can come up to it that's a bit of a different perspective or view on it than maybe, the narrative or whatever, you've been thinking about this problem, the majority of the time. So that's still been my preferred approach when it comes to stuff like that. And then when it comes to me being just MIA from the channel in general, I'm sure the longtime viewers on my channel probably know exactly what I've been doing instead, and that is video games, man. I got totally wrapped back up in another one. This time the game was Dragon's Dogma 2, which is a super dope game, man. It's really fun, but it is like a time killer of epic proportions. There's like no fast travel in this thing. You gotta very, very little fast travel. You gotta like run everywhere, and it just murders your free time. So I was spending all my free time doing that. And so since the game's been out, I got like 120 plus hours on that thing already. So really like all my free time has been dedicated to that. And then as a result of that, since my free time generally comes at nighttime when everybody goes to sleep, my time spent sleeping has gotten cracked super hard, where like through February and a good chunk of March, I was getting like 7.5 plus hours of sleep doing this whole sleep challenge thing. I was reading a lot and stuff like that. But because my time to play is late at night, my time spent sleeping has taken a huge hit. But one of the kind of neat things, I guess kind of like a positive if you take this in a certain direction, that comes when you play a lot of video games is, of course, you spend all this time in that world, I'll tend to dream about it a lot. And so this game is a pretty neat game that lends itself to dreaming pretty well. It's like a third-person open-world action RPG where you can like inhabit different types of roles. They call it like vocations, right? So you can be a warrior with this big-ass gigantic sword. You could be like a fighter with a sword and a shield. You could be an archer. You could be a magic archer, which is a really good vocation. You should like these magical arrows instead of regular arrows. You can be a thief. You could be a sorcerer or a mage and all that. So I would have some neat dreams, over this past month as I've been sucked into that game where, I'd have dreams of like having sorcerer-like powers, which is always really neat. But one of the kind of negative parts to like, having it be so video game focused is that when I am in these dreams pretty often and I have these awesome sorcerer-like powers, especially if I'm not really lucid to it, or even if I am lucid to it, but it has this game vibe, it won't have as much physical sensation and feel to it as it would if it was like me just being more like in the waking real world within the dream, and having magical powers. So, I might be able to, shoot this awesome, powerful tornado and get some bad guys, but it has a video game vibe to it, so it doesn't really feel as neat as it would in other scenarios. So, but that stuff aside, something that was pretty neat is that, so in Dragon's Dogma 2, right, it's like a, it's kind of like an open world, kind of trying to be like a regular living, breathing world. You can do things in it that definitely would not fly in a regular, waking life reality, where you can just steal stuff from like anybody and nobody cares. Now, of course, they have shops and things where like, you got to go to the shop, you got to go there to buy your better, stronger gear and, some shop items to like help boost your life up or teleport places when you can't afford it. So like it has that stuff, but then everything else, you can just straight up steal and there's no consequence to it whatsoever. Like you can go into somebody's house to have like bags of money and food on the table and just, talk to them and then just steal all that shit right in front of them and they don't even notice it and it doesn't even matter. So like the whole vibe of that, this was a kind of funny one, did influence my dream in a way. So I thought I would share that one really quick. So We're like, you know, we're in the city and it's like nighttime, but at the bottom of the city, there's a mountain that runs down to it, and there's like a skiing, snowboarding place that, like, you know, ends up in this city. So I was with my friends, and we wanted to go sneak onto this snowboarding place to go snowboard, even though it was closed. So we sneak in to go ride it. Turns out there's a bunch of other dream characters there and people also snowboarding in there. And so, you know, we go there, we do the first run, and then I wasn't totally lucid in it, but like, I do this so often, like in my lucid dreams, but also in like my other like non-lucid dreams, like this one was, that I can do lucid type things in them oftentimes. So even though I wasn't full on lucid, I would like get to the bottom of the run, and then I would teleport myself back up to the top of the run and do it again. Or sometimes I was flying back up to the top of the run to do it again. So, you know, I'm just kind of doing that over and over. It was a lot of fun. But then as I'm doing this, I'm starting to notice like other dream characters in there with like better gear and stuff like that. I'm thinking like, man, if I just had that snowboard, you know, I'd be so much better. I wish I just had it. But, you know, not thinking I could just go there and take it, because I'm kind of confusing this for real life. I'm just kind of thinking that thought in my head. Then, you know, one time where I'm at the top of the run and we see like these lights coming in, and we know it's like cops or security coming to bust us. So we're thinking, okay, you know, everybody, all the other dream characters, we all think, you know, crap, we got to go hide, right? So I don't remember actually finishing the run after seeing them come in. But then like the dream scene changes, and I'm in like the kind of resort shop area at the bottom, trying to hide in this shop. And then the security comes in, and I'm in like plain view of them. I think like, oh crap, I'm gonna get busted. But then it's like they don't even see me. And then as this is going on, it starts to take more of like a Dragon's Dogma 2 vibe to it, specifically of this area called Batal, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, so then I'm starting to think, oh wait, they can't see me. And then as it starts to take on this video game vibe, I start noticing that some of the dream characters around me who had that really good gear I wanted to use and try out earlier, I'm thinking like, oh wait, I can just take this gear. So then I go ahead and I take their gear. The cops can't see me, but everybody else is still, not everybody else, but a bunch of other dream characters around are getting busted by security. I'm thinking, okay, great. I'm kind of like outside of their reality, right? I'm going to go keep snowboarding this mountain. So then, you know, I went back up the run, and, you know, I kept bombing the run with the better gear and doing that kind of stuff. So, you know, that's basically it. Actually, later on this same dream, kind of forget what happens a bunch, but, you know, still within this same dream, I end up getting more lucid later on, and then actually having like a proper lucid dream there too, and just doing regular lucid dreaming stuff. But nonetheless, it is kind of neat how when, depending on the types of worlds you inhabit in your waking life, right, you know, I guess in particular like video game worlds, those types of rule sets really can get kind of transferred over into your dreams. And then, you know, if it's a rule set that can be beneficial for your dream, like being able just to take stuff from other dream characters and have them not care at all, you know, because that was the rule set that was being in so much in Dragon's Dogma 2, it can have some kind of interesting effects on it. And then also, of course, you know, like being a super powered sorcerer or mage, you know, in the video game, also getting those types of experiences in your dreams is also, of course, neat as well. But anyway, that'll wrap it up, and hopefully I'll get back to being more consistent on my channel. Anyway, until then, keep the lucid dreaming practice and your video games legit.